The Saturday Brunch Film Review.
The computer, an extension of the human intellect. The NCOM 511, center of the most calculating intelligence on Earth. Programmed by Master Control to survive by all means. Soon, the ultimate tool will become the ultimate enemy.
Hey, it's the big Master Control program everybody's been talking about.
Kevin Flynn, computer genius. Taken prisoner and held captive within the digital world of the computer itself. Trapped inside an electronic arena where love and escape do not compute.
Tron, an adventure inside the computer, rated PG.
The Saturday Brunch Film Review on Radio Cardiff.
Oh, how great was that trailer?
Award for the best voiceover ever. It was sort
Nothing
of,
like
the
the
whole
movie
thing
at all.
was like this, and then rated PG. That was just incredible.
So now it's our swap shop feature where I recommend a classic film for Tom to see and vice versa. Basically, it's like lending out a DVD or a Blu-ray without the risk of it getting scratched. Last week, Tom had me watch Ridley Scott's Alien. This week, by circumstance or fate possibly, I've given another sci-fi classic to Tom, which, as you gathered from that amazing voiceover, was Tron rated PG.
Rated PG.
What did you think of Tron?
What did I think of Tron? I'm still trying to work it out, if I'm honest. I will say this: I thought visually it's incredibly impressive for 1982.
Yes.
Got to be some of the earlier CG work in
It's
any film.
not the first film to use CG, but it's the first film to use it as much as it did. I believe there's about 15 to 20 minutes worth of CG was shot for the film, mainly when there were vehicles or scenery used. That's where the CG came from, and I think that's mainly why it's so important. As is, I think narratively, even action-wise, I don't think it's that interesting as of a film, but as a landmark pinpoint in cinema, it is. It's one of those films where you go, this is historically important.
I'm still trying to work out the plot exactly. So
Okay,
you've got
right, tell me
Kevin
what
Bridges.
yes.
Kevin Bridges is
Jeff Bridges.
Kevin Bridges. Am I right? That's the comedian.
Yes.
Right. Jeff Bridges is a
Yeah.
programmer.
Correct.
Right, and he's created a video game that basically got stolen by somebody else in essence.
Yes.
Yeah? Now, the guy who's stolen it has basically created has sort of created like a program within the game that is in control of everything that goes on, so that the
I
program
don't
doesn't
think
run
they
free.
ever actually explain how the computer games are linked into the program. I think it's just a overall arcing computer system
Right.
for that company.
Okay, and so at some point in the film, the Jeff Bridges character goes into the system in order to free it, in a sense.
He's basically going into the system to find evidence about his games being stolen by this guy that's now really successful. Jeff Bridges isn't, and he ends up bumping into the titular Tron character, who is a security program. All of the programs in this computer world are all represented by actors, all of whom also play characters in the real world.
Now, yeah, I was going to ask you about this. Now, there's not a direct link there. That's just a...
I think it's
for film.
because, well, probably just because it was easier, but also because they're all created by the individuals. So
Yes.
Tron was made
Right.
by Bruce Bottletner's real world character, hence Tron looks like Bruce.
Yes, that was my interpretation of it. I'll be honest with you, and people I've spoken to about Tron, and I think it's a lot of the reason why it wasn't that successful. I think it's incredibly difficult to understand.
And quite boring actually as
Well,
well.
it isn't full of action,
there
is
are
it?
there are no there are no problems that the heroes face that really cause them to stumble on their journey at all. I think the original idea is cool, and I think that even if it doesn't look as great, I think Tron Legacy does a better job of keeping the audience interested. But the original idea came from in 1975, where the director saw Pong.
Oh yes, I did read this. Yeah,
And hence the idea of why they're fighting out in this digital arena. He went, oh, that's how the characters do that. That's how they get through the life and death situations. They are essentially playing Pong.
and I also kind of like the parallels that it has with sort of like 1984, the sort of the Big Brother thing that that the people that live in this electronic world are sort of suppressed by one ruler, and that they're trying to become free from that.
There's a lot of religious allegory in it as well.
Yeah, well, they even use the word religion a lot, which I was sort of like, oh, okay.
It's a bit out there for a Disney movie.
It is.
But it was a bit out there for a Disney movie. The creative team behind it went to Disney with the project, and a lot of Disney animators didn't want to work on it because it had so much computer animation in it as opposed to hand-drawn animation. Of course, nowadays, you could essentially see Tron as the thing that kind of kick-started the computer-generated effects revolution within the film industry. In fact, John Lasseter of Pixar went as far as to say without Tron there would be no Toy Story. So I think its legacy is almost more important and worthwhile than the film itself.
I would probably agree with that. It's definitely, again, one of those films that you always sort of see on the telly and you go, yeah, I know of Tron, I know what it looks like, but no one really knows what on earth is going on.
Yeah, even now I think I'm like,
But visually, though, I found it really attractive to look at.
Exactly,
and I was really drawn into it just because I wanted to see where this is going to go visually for the rest of the film.
You look at that movie and you go, well, if someone could somehow go inside of a computer, that's what it would look like.
Yeah.
That looks dead on.
I am keen to see Tron Legacy, though.
I would definitely recommend the cartoon as well, which kind of takes place in between the two. Mm-hmm. Even if they did cut off before its time, like everything I love.
Yeah, I wish I could give more feedback on this, but honestly, I was struggling to understand. I mean, I watched it with my friend, and they were sort of like, I don't really get what's going on here. I'm like, not do I, and I'm really focused on this. I don't quite get it.
On the plus side, at least that DVD that got left at your flat has now had a use.
Well, honestly, I'm going to go back, watch some documentaries about it, and watch it again at some point, because I'm intrigued. I'm trying to understand what really the main thrust of the story was, because I don't know what it is.
You're being drawn even further into the Master Control program.
End of line, Dom. End of line.
End of line indeed.
The Saturday Brunch Film Review.